Yeah, so what I was receiving as I'm sitting here, so I took pretty much the same things with me as yesterday, because I came home from work and like I immediately went to the forest. So let's see. So there's something about the angels. It's most definitely angelic assistance at the moment, and about that you will be experiencing a double amount of stability. So it could be a double amount of grounding, a double amount of stability, and also that you are, and on top of that, you will also be receiving independent blessings, whatever that may be. So maybe blessings that, a blessing that you will feel blessed by walking an independent path, perhaps. So maybe you are going to be blessed with walking an independent path or feeling very independent as you are going from stabilities to stabilities to stability, right? So you may be feeling incredibly grounded, incredibly uh, like solid, stable, structured, perhaps. There's something very, very solid here. And so you'll have like double the stability or double the grounding, double the, I would say double the stability. So you're going to be feeling incredibly stable. And this has something to do with angelic assistance. And you're also, on top of that, are going to be receiving independent blessings. So you will feel very blessed, not just blessed, but also independent in those blessings you are experiencing. So let's see. Could be interesting to maybe know. I want to know first what kind of a state that we are in right now. Let's see. Need something of a container. Okay, let's take this in a container. Okay, so right now we actually have moved out of potentiality. So it means that, and it's kind of interesting because also my other stones, which have to do with flow and stability, were also reversed. So that's kind of fascinating. So you are going to be feeling like there's not going to be like it's stability in a sense, like a druidic state is not really talking about like regular stability. It's much more like you having found your flow, and then this flow becoming like incredibly solid, like your solid ground to stand on, like it's working. Or like if you're trying to achieve something, it's like the state in which like it's not just like you finding your flow and then really flowing and then eventually it become like your new reality, right? Like your new your way of living, you could say, your successful state or whatever you may call it. So you're not in that kind of a state, so you're not going to be flowing. That's fascinating because yesterday we were also talking about that. So you're not going to be living, going with the flow, which may also relate to that incredible stability. So you're not going to be living, go with the flow, and we're also not going to be planning. We're not going to be envisioning. So you are in your vision. You are in whatever you are doing, but you're not really going with the flow. So this means that you are taking a very independent path. In other words, you're taking a very independent path. Let's see. And let's do the Jewish dice interpretation as well. Let's see. So we have prosperity. That's good. I think your boundaries are going to be becoming even stronger, which is good, right? So you're going to be actually having even stronger boundaries than you had before. So enforcing them even harder, which I also feel, which will also likely create even more stability, quite likely. Um, and it could also be causing a lot more prosperity as well. So you're just going prosperity, you could see it as something leading into prosperity, but you could also just see it as you living a prosperous life, and a prosperous life doesn't necessarily have to talk about finances. Prosperity is much more than just finances, right? So so you're going to be feeling quite a prosperous life. So it's like the opposite of a poor mindset, you could say. A very prosperous life. And as you are causing these, reinforcing these boundaries even stronger than you already had them. So it's going to be a little bit over the top, quite likely, the boundaries that you're going to be setting. Um, because it already talks about like having two strong boundaries, and then you get a double of that, like double the two strong boundaries, but also double the stability as a result of that as well. Um, because there's also something about that you are surrounded by people who perhaps are cursing you or like are evil eyeing you, or that there are people around you that are a bad negative influence upon your well-being. So or yeah, upon your life, like it's not good for you. So hence, as a result of that, you are reinforcing your boundaries but making them even stronger as they already were, and they were already quite strong, actually over the top strong, and now it's going to be even worse. So you're going to be reinforcing those even more. um so let's see. Oh, so yeah, so you're going to be reinforcing those even more. And then let's see. We get unexpected money reversed. So when we're talking about prosperity, I think God wants to say like we're not really talking about prosperity in a financial sense. It's going to be prosperity in other senses, in other ways, right? In another sense. So this is just talking about feeling prosperous in life and maybe having a prosperous mindset. But it's not really talking about prosperity in terms of like unexpected money. So you're going to be just having the same kind of money that you have right now, the same kind of prosperity that you have right now. Let's see. And then we get the Jeep. So you may be going on a little bit of a rocky road. Maybe you're going to be going off-road as well. It's an off-road kind of vehicle, right? So you may be going off-road, which means like that you may be most definitely walking the path less traveled, you could say. And I was also seeing an ant like trying to move something, and it's quite difficult, it seems. So you may be going on a difficult journey. If you're trying to get something moving that is quite difficult, perhaps, and maybe you're also going on rough terrain and also off terrain, right? So you're going to be driving on the path less traveled in life. And there's something about diamonds, so you're going to be incredibly focused. That's good. Going to be incredibly focused, and maybe also if this would be talking about pressure, like the pressure that you are going to be experiencing is going to be making you into a diamond, right? It's going to make something into a diamond, or maybe the pressure is now starting to solidify into a diamond if you have been experiencing pressure lately. So this rocky road will be pressure that will crystallize into a diamond. So it's going to be positive for you. And you're also going to be incredibly focused as you are going off terrain. So you're going to be most definitely driving the path less traveled, and maybe it will be quite the rocky road, perhaps. And then we have but you are equipped for it, right? Because you're driving a Jeep. So a Jeep is equipped for this rocky road. So you are equipped for it, and you have the right focus, and you can handle the pressure because it has made you into a diamond, perhaps, or it is making something into a diamond, or you into a diamond. So this pressure is most definitely positive, you could say. So I do think that it actually has made you into a diamond, that this pressure has already done its job, you could say, and now your vehicle is equipped for the journey, the rocky journey ahead, you could say, or it is equipped for the road less traveled. And then you have the mirror, and the mirror to me talks about, it could talk about like entities coming into this realm, because you need to like block mirrors because otherwise they come into this realm, right? I once had to close off a mirror because before I did that, like we had ghost activity all the time in the hallway. So it was kind of fascinating. I didn't think that would have such an effect, but it did. So so that's kind of interesting because we had like like this thing that makes, I don't know what it's called, but like it makes sound, and you can like put stuff in there, and it like I think it's also for the weather and such. Like it's like something from way back then, like in the 90s or something. But it started making sounds all by itself every now and then, as though it had been moved, right? But it didn't. And now that is gone. So maybe you could also talk about, because we were talking about ghost activity lately, that maybe that God, that this divine ghost activity that is trying to make you laugh is going to stop as well. So you could talk about that you won't be noticing that anymore. No more ghost activity. Um, but let's see. The mirror. The mirror can also talk about the lens through which you look at the world. Maybe you are re-entering the world with a very focused lens, and maybe you're also re-entering the world perhaps as someone who is ready for the rocky terrain that is ahead. Could talk about that. And he seems to be standing in a library as well. Maybe you're leaving books behind. Maybe you're leaving books behind. And you're going on the road off terrain. It could also be like me being in the forest, like leaving the books behind, like being in the forest, because I usually use some books in my messaging lately. So let's just see. This could be about. So we have this serendipity. Something is a little bit too coincidental. Then we have the king of lies. So that would be Satan, right? Satan is the king of lies. So again, this is a little bit too coincidental, serendipity. So this is coming from Satan, in other words. There's maybe, if something is a little bit too coincidental, you may want to watch out right now, because that could be Satan right now. So be careful about that one. Let's see. And then we have a descendant of Noah, an obedient citizen. A descendant of Noah. That's fascinating. So maybe you are being ridiculed, Spot? Like being ridiculed, being made fun of, because that's the reverse of that. So maybe your obedience is being made fun of. Maybe it has something to do with like you being laughed at because you follow God, or you are talking to God or something, and like they're making fun of that perhaps. And maybe that is not a coincidence. Maybe that is Satan, right? That could be the connection here. So that would not be a coincidence if that would be happening. Maybe you are a descendant of Noah. Could be. So let's see. And then you have the chosen ones, 144k, Satan. So let's see, the chosen ones. Chosen ones. Maybe the chosen ones are going to be ridiculed. And it's not a coincidence, it's coming from Satan. Maybe he is attacking those who are openly connected to God, or those who are descendants of Noah, perhaps. Could be the case. Born to be unique. It's born to be unique. It's a little bit too coincidental, serendipity. You are born to be unique. You're born to be unique, but Satan is going to be making fun of. So I think we should see it as this and as that, right? So I think Satan is going to make fun of the fact that you are born to be unique because you are a chosen one, which makes sense, right? You are a chosen one. You are part of the 144,000 chosen ones on earth. You are born to be unique, and that's why you're going to be made fun of. By whom? It's not coincidental. It's coming from the king of lies, which will be Satan, right? And it could be because you are a descendant of Noah, perhaps, or it's because you are an obedient citizen. So it could be that because you are connected to God, or maybe you are following the daily suggestions that I write, or you're following divine instructions or something, and you're going to be made fun of, and it's not a coincidence that this would be happening. Going to be made fun of. So let's see. It says humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. So maybe God wants to say, like, bloom regardless of this, shine regardless of this, and yeah, like maybe also like stay your humble self. Music, there is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. So I do think this may be talking about like being in the woods quite literally. So you being in the woods. Strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. So you may be incredibly strong right now. You can shine regardless. You can go into the woods. And your roots are incredibly deep, so you don't have to fear the storm. You are strong enough. You're equipped for the journey, right? You're equipped for the journey that comes ahead, but like you're going to be made fun of, quite likely. So maybe God is warning you beforehand, like, yeah, you're probably going to be made fun of. So yeah, you already know this then, right? And then we're going to take the runes. So let's see. So we have Gibo, which can be a card, but can be like a rune of the chosen, right? So again, it's love, but it's also chosen. You're being chosen by love. You are part of the chosen people, right? So you're part of the 144,000 if you are watching this video, and you are part of God's chosen people. That's why you're going to be made fun of as you're going on the road less traveled. And you could be a descendant of Noah, perhaps. You don't have to be, but it could be. And maybe you are obedient to God, perhaps, or maybe you are openly saying, I am connected to God. You're going to be made fun of as a result of that. So let's see. You're just walking the path less traveled, and it is because God is guiding you on that path less traveled. You're born to be unique, and you're going to be laughed at because of that, because you are a chosen one. Let's see. Then you have that you have to surrender the victory. So I do think that you have to surrender the victory to God, in other words. So you will have to be like, okay, as I'm being made fun of, God, I'm I'm getting chills. Like, I'm giving it up to you, God, and like, you handle this. I'm not going to be worried about that. And I'm going to be shining regardless. I'm strong enough for this journey ahead. I know this. And I also think because you have Pertro reversed, which talks about Pertro reversed it's talking about that you don't want to be taking any risks. So I do think like in the journey ahead, you don't want to be taking too many risks, which likely may have something to do with money. So be careful about how you spend money. Don't take too many risks as it relates to money. Because it could also talk about that, like no unexpected money. So I don't think you're going to be losing money, but you're not going to be gaining more money than you are expecting to get, quite likely. So don't worry about it, but at the same time be a good steward of your money, you could say, right? So don't take risks because it's not going to turn out in your favor, in other words, right? Don't take any risks. So for example, if you're a gambler or something, don't gamble. If that would be the case, like don't gamble this, at least for these next 24 hours, don't gamble. Don't spend money carelessly, right? Be careful, don't take any risks, what God is trying to say. So if you were thinking about maybe making an investment or something, like spending some kind of money, I don't think this will turn out great. So you're warned about that. So let's see. You can put it on my hat. So let's see. That. We're getting seats. Seats. And it fell close to something? Well, I think it has something to do with this victory. So I think someone is going to be planting not like prosperity seeds. It's not talking about that. It's talking about manipulation seeds. So be very careful, because someone is going to start saying something that wants to be implanted in your mind and wants to start growing in a garden, you could say, in your mind. So be careful with manipulation. And let's see, but it also indicates that you shall not be manipulated. These seeds won't take hold, won't take root in your mind. That's also what it means. And you, like this lightning bolt, it again makes me think about being rebellious. I was wearing lightning bolt earrings yesterday, and it made me think about that, about being a bit rebellious, a bit Viking again, Viking and rebellious. So you may want to be like a Viking warrior of destiny once again, and like also being quite rebellious. So dare to take the road less traveled, and know that no seed will be planted in your mind, no manipulation will take hold. Like God will make sure that that won't happen, and the angels as well. So it won't be taking hold. So let's see. What else have I taken with me? Also have like these tarot cards. Maybe we could do that. The Emperor. So you're most definitely, I think it talks about that God is in charge, but it's going to be like you expressing divine authority. You will be, and also the Emperor, I think it's actually that, I correct myself, like the Emperor, it's talking about that you will be, you decide what you're going to be spending your time, your energy, and your money and your love into, right? So you're going to be choosing yourself what you're going to be investing into. So I do think that an investment will not turn off great, right? Means investment of money, it means investment of love, it means investment of time and energy. So if you are like, be very conscious about how you invest your time, your love, your energy, and your money. Like be very wise about that, because the Emperor is very wise about how he spends these kinds of resources, right? So let's see, Page of Cups. It has to do with your subconscious. and there is someone like who's going to try to start planting seeds in your subconscious like a manipulator does, but it's not going to take root, and you decide who you're going to be spending your time, your energy, your love and your money into. But I also think it does talk about God, because God is guiding you in this. God is guiding you in terms of like maybe things happen that makes sure that you don't spend money, or that make sure that you are removed from places. For example, if you were deciding upon should I visit someone, and like things turn out differently, it's God that was causing that to go differently. So God is not allowing manipulation at this moment. God is not allowing people to be planting seeds in your mind that will stay with you, right? So, and he's also trying to be careful that you don't spend your love, your time, your energy, and as well as your money into things that won't that will turn out bad for you. So let's see. So God is defending you, is protecting you. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So again, this talks about work, about you, about not working hard, perhaps, about like it may talk about yesterday again about like mastery, like being master of your craft, putting in the hard work and the dedication to deliver something high quality. So let's see what's at the bottom. And again, justice. So whatever this is, that what happened yesterday, you will be given justice about this. Justice in God's hands, and God will create justice as it relates to this. Whatever that may look like, this justice. So that, I guess, is in God's hands, what this justice will look like. And then you have the Ace of Coins. So this means a new beginning. This will be like a tangible new beginning for the long term, so very stabilized. So maybe also God is giving you stability out of nowhere, because usually like this talks about like something from the divine appearing out of nowhere. So I do think this could be talking about stability, that God is giving you stability out of nowhere and giving you solid ground, solid footing, not spending your like having strong boundaries, not spending your time and your energy and your love and your money in things that you're not like consciously deciding upon investing into. So again, no subconscious, conscious. Maybe your internal self is going to stabilize. So God may be creating a new beginning, a solid new beginning, a stable inside for you to move forward with as well. Let's see. Contractually bound. So it could be talking about that God is contractually bound to you, perhaps. Contractually bound. Again, Noah, descendant of Noah, obedient citizen. So you are contractually bound. So if we talk about obedience, it's talking more about like that you have a contract with God, perhaps, that you are a chosen one. So it means you came to earth with instructions, perhaps. You came to earth with some kind of thing you would be loyal to, or a thing you would be doing while you are here. And there's something about a social media detox is needed. So maybe God is saying like you need to, I'm getting chills, so that's very much needed. I think you need to like shut off social media. No more social media. So today I actually listened to some videos as I was working, which was actually quite beneficial. Like God wants to say like no social media. And then you have the office building of the Matrix. So that's interesting. Office building of the Matrix. So there's something about perhaps social media, the Matrix. There is something connected to that. And then you have frenemies, people who are friends who are enemies who seem like friends. So there could be frenemies on social media, and that's why you need to detox from that. Or you could have like frenemies in your vicinity. Let's see. So we have making fun of you. So it could be that you're going to be made fun of by a frenemy on social media, perhaps. So be careful about that, because it's actually Satan, in other words. Then you have a miracle and like a radiant sunshine. Miracle, radiant sunshine. Then you have radioactive, radio tower signal and signaling. So maybe you are radiating out in terms of frequency. You're radiating out miracle frequency, perhaps, or you're radiating out bright sunshine frequency. Logic reasoning. Logic reasoning. The matrix, logic reasoning. So I do think like you need to use your mind the next 24 hours. Use your mind, be very logical about things. And your mind, maybe in and of itself, it could be that your mind is radiating miracle frequency or is radiating some kind of really bright sunshiny frequency. And the sunshiny frequency needs a social media detox. So you need to be away from social media to radiate your brightest and to radiate this miracle frequency, or to get into that miracle frequency. And like you need to reason logically, because this is the matrix. It has something to do with the matrix. Frenemies who seem like friends but actually aren't, and they're broadcasting. So these frenemies are broadcasting something. That's what it means. These frenemies are broadcasting some kind of signal. It could be a matrix kind of signal, and it's like disrupting your frequency, your miracle frequency. So, and they may be making fun of you. That's how you know it's a frenemy. Stay away from those people, in other words. So let's see. And then, last but not least, I want to use these. Probing and trying out. It's like a test and trying out, or probing and trying out. A handful. Maybe a handful of people are going to start testing you, or they're going to try testing your boundaries, or they're going to try something out, like a handful of trying out. So maybe 5 people, could be 5 people maybe trying to test your boundaries. Could be that. Let's see what's here. Post. So it could be post messages. It's not really falling out, so let's just do one more. The bill. So you're going to pay the bill of this. You're going to pay the bill of these people testing you out. So again, like, this is a risk that you don't want to take. So you don't want to be on social media right now, and you don't want to be on surrounded by frenemies right now. And God is going to try to remove you from that. But like, you of course have to be obedient, in a sense, like work with what God is trying to do here, right? So God is trying to say, like, I'm trying to protect you, but it's up to you to also work with that protection, right? So if you are going to be working against that, I can't really protect you, but I'm trying to protect you and trying to show you what I'm doing, so you can work with the process instead of against the process, right? Pretty much. So yeah. So I'm wishing you a very beautiful, well, maybe I took these cards with me, so let's just take them. See what happens. Solar plexus chakra. So it means connect to your inner knowing. Connect to be solidly yourself and connect to your inner knowing. Crown chakra, knowing, right? Connect to your inner knowing, the inner knowing that's inside of you. That's what God wants to say. Connect to that inner knowing inside of you. You will know. You will know what to do. You will know how to, you will know it. You will know it when you're being protected, perhaps. You will know it when God is trying to protect you, and like listen to that. Your intuition is correct, your inner knowing is correct, and also just connect to your inner knowing, your knowing that is within you, right? Because that is also going to be very important. So, yeah. So I'm wishing you a very beautiful day ahead, and bye bye.